Released on November 22nd, 2024, One Assassination Under God, Chapter 1 heralds Marilyn Manson's return after nearly 4 long years. And as always, the best way to break silence is with extremely loud rock music. Produced by Marilyn Manson and Tyler Bates and mixed by Robert Carranza. It's a first look at Marilyn Manson's One Assassination Under God, Chapter 1, tonight on a very special Sounds Pretty Grim. So this past March, after years of near total radio silence from Manson, a 2024 summer tour is announced. Weeks later, a brief video teaser surfaced, presumably announcing some new project. No word of an album title, release date, producer, who's gonna be in the live band, when we might expect to hear anything else new. Just a short, mostly instrumental clip of new music. With the reinvigorated Manson looking like he's long understood the importance of a good moisturizer with an SPF of at least 30. And a confirmation that legendary metal label Nuclear Blast is involved in some capacity. The only other thing I could glean from the promo is the probable involvement of producer Tyler Bates, who you might remember from such Marilyn Manson albums as Heaven Upside Down and The Pale Emperor. It just sounded like him on guitar. It was a fun little bendy riff with some weird guitar pedal doing some kind of wacky thing that sounds cool and kind of broken. Ergo, Bates is probably the producer of this mystery project. So really a teaser, a tour, and 3 videos/singles. Now regular viewers of the Sounds Pretty Grim channel are keenly aware that I clearly do not understand even the basics of self-promotion or marketing. But I very much enjoyed the lead up to this album. As of this episode's recording on the day of release, there's thus far been no interviews, no press, minimal social media, mostly just album promos, and seemingly no advance review copies. This whole album cycle has been about just letting the music speak for itself. The album, the live performances, the videos, the art, the important shit, the whole reason we're doing any of this came first. Nobody else was able to define this album or this era before we got to hear it for ourselves. So that first single, As Sick as the Secrets Within, was released on August 2nd to almost universal acclaim, or at the very least, surprise by how Manson himself sounded. Reinvigorated, more melodic, the performance more focused and disciplined, and the song and its structure a little more complex than what one might expect from an album's lead single. Though lyrically it seems to be the most direct song Manson's done in a long time, the most universally relatable. His delightfully flowery language intact and as sharp as ever, but with this layer of abstraction peeled back. Probably the most emotionally hard-hitting single from Manson since Coma White, but a very different kind of song altogether. The song was released along with a video directed by Bill Yukich, who has directed something of a trilogy of videos from this album. I really like the look of these videos. I like the colors. I like how dramatically different they look from each other. I like the in-camera stuff, the shift focus dreamily swirling around the frame. And I love how As Sick as the Secrets Within visually leads directly into Raise the Red Flags video. You had to go through As Sick as the Secrets Within to arrive here. As Sick as the Secrets Within's video was like a fucking Christmas present to those Manson fans who really like to figure out and interpret cryptic imagery. Manson hasn't made a video in this style in a while. A lot of the more recent videos have seen him playing a character in a story or a scene, or performing on a less elaborately decorated or richly oblique set. The second single, an absolute barn burner called Raise the Red Flag, came with another Yukich-directed video that I enjoyed immensely as an epileptic who ignores medical advice. Speaking of types of Manson videos we haven't seen in a while, I don't remember the last time I saw Manson appear in a wide shot with his band. At least one where you can clearly identify everybody. Maybe 2004. But this video really focuses on Marilyn Manson, the band. Tyler Bates, Gil Sharon, newcomers Reba Myers and Matthew Montgomery, aka Piggy D, and most importantly, the entire band as a unit get a good amount of screen time. While Myers and Montgomery were recruited after the album was recorded, I think this video is a clear declaration setting the tone for this album's era, giving identity to Marilyn Manson as not just a solo artist, but as a group of musicians with a sound of their own and a performance that you should go see live. I mean, Manson always has a good, if ever changing live band, but having attended the kickoff show in Pennsylvania, I can say that this band did not sound like they were playing their first show together. A large part of it being Manson's development as a vocalist, but the band definitely sounded like they put some hours into rehearsing. Tight and focused, but still dangerous. And this renewed focus on the music and the live performance and the band is really stressed in this video in both obvious and subtle ways. I noticed they've wheeled in their amps and they're all cabled up, and they've even got their pedal boards out. Like it's a music video, they could have left those little details out, and it's probably safer to not festoon a film set with so many dangerous tripping hazards. But it's yet another subtle but important sign that this era is all about the fucking music. Plus, putting shots of guitar pedal boards in a video instantly makes that video better. See? The third single, Sacrilegious, kinda has the vibe of a more traditional lead single from Manson with that bouncy kinda glam rock sound. The video, which stars this fucking blazer, is a beautiful black and white performance-based video, once again heavily featuring the band, with some simple and effective camera tricks, though it's certainly not devoid of Manson's fondness for symbolism. But today I've got the album for myself, so let's give it a good once-over. November 21st, 2024, I've pre-ordered the Fancy Pants box set version. I will now make an eye-shaped incision. I wasn't originally too thrilled when they announced the vinyl color for the box set. Like the other retailer exclusive versions have like bone splatter, bloody ghost explosion or some such. And then from the box set you get marbled beige. But this looks great. I think I was expecting it to be a little more translucent. I somehow forgot or just never noticed that the box set version comes with a big fat 180-gram vinyl, and the extra heft and thickness does give it the look of a big ol' slab of something fancy. Super classy looking. You could eat caviar off of this thing. So this set consisted of one very fancy box, in which we find one compact disc with alternative red jewel case, one 180-gram vinyl LP in marbled beige, one cassette with O-card, 4 very nice art prints. Of course, it's all about the songs, the music, the sound. So all I've got is a first impression, and it is one of a pleasant surprise, an excitement for where we go from here. I mean, based on the singles, I expected to like this album. And I always enjoy listening to a new Manson release. Even the albums I don't really get along with very well, it's never due to a lack of ideas. It's often a question of whether the productions live up to the ambition. With One Assassination Under God, Chapter 1, I'm going on record as saying it resoundingly does. Tyler Bates is a great match for Manson, whose albums generally have a very cinematic sound and feel. The lyrics are very vivid, and the vocals are evocative, dramatic. So Bates's film scoring background, making music to suit visuals, is a perfect pairing. This is their third album together. 2015's The Pale Emperor is a particularly strong entry in Manson's catalog. One Assassination Under God Chapter 1 is their best work so far, though. It's their most ambitious in terms of songwriting and arrangement. Manson sounds great, it has a fresh feel. The amount of effort that went into it is audible. On first listen, you instantly notice how Manson's going for a more melodic vocal, though fans of his guttural screams have something to look forward to as well. Some pretty heavy vocal effects throughout the album, very much varying from track to track as well, really upping the variety of tones here. There's probably a little sweetening too, although Manson's definitely been proving himself to be a powerful vocalist live as of late. But Manson ultimately is a pop rock, pop alternative metal artist. Something pop. My point being that this is the kind of production I want to hear at this budget level. I want to hear cutting edge shit. I want ear candy. I want to hear stuff I've never heard before. Creative chaos from plugging the wrong thing into the other wrong thing and turning the dial up until it smells like burning. I was really surprised by the vocals on Death Is Not a Costume. Very dreamy, pop sounding. It's one of the many moments on the album where Manson uses his voice in a way that I've never heard from him before. Great drum work from Gil Sharon, and again, really cool drum sounds. The drums in Raise the Red Flag, for instance, just tons of gain and distortion on that kick and a good splat on that snare. Definitely Bates' best guitar work with Manson. He's really leaving his signature as a lead guitarist on these songs in a way that I think he only hinted at on previous outings. Heavier material than I was expecting, right off the bat in the opening track. We haven't really heard this kind of faster, chugging, heavy guitars on recent Manson albums, so let me be among the first to welcome them back. Or track 3, Nod If You Understand. Mark my words, this is destined to be a fan favorite at live shows from now on. I love this song, the sound, how it fits on the album. It's already on my workout playlist. While this is a fairly dark and personal album, it's got its fun moments. Let's get evil. I'm feeling sacrilegious. That's what I needed in 2024. It's good to have Manson back. My personal favorite today on release day goes to Meet Me in Purgatory. I wasn't expecting a spooky post-punk influenced anthem, but I'll take it. Tie it up with a devastating closing track and you've got yourself something special. I think the most fascinating thing about the album for me is we knew Manson was coming out with something new for a while, and I think my expectations were set for this big, definitive, epic, late career exclamation point. Like the most Manson-y Manson album in years, which it is. But more interestingly, and perhaps most unexpectedly, it sounds like the start of a whole new thing. And this team, the core 3 of Manson, Bates, and Sharon, made their first record almost a decade ago. They've made 2 fine albums, but this is the one where I think they've got their sound dialed in as a unit. At the time of this recording, little is known about the subsequent chapter or chapters. Whether a potential chapter 2 has already been partially recorded or even already mixed and waiting in the wings, or whether Manson and his band plan to go back to the studio after the summer tour to complete the follow-up. I'm kind of hoping for the latter, that after the crucible of this past summer tour, they got Piggy D and Reba into the studio to add their style and energy and identity and really fucking throw some gas on this fire we got going with this album. I'll pre-order that one right now too, especially if it comes in beige. So thanks for joining me on this surprise episode, a surprise even to me. I thought it'd be too stressful to shoot an episode with such a tight timeline, and it was. So, I don't know, I'm not going to review new releases too often. This particular one was fun, but I really don't see the point in doing it regularly. Like, it doesn't cost $15 to find out whether an album is worth $15 anymore. You can just go listen to it, quite easily. Or don't. I'm not even sure that I fully believe in the necessity or validity of music criticism in the age of streaming anyway. Like, why the f*** am I even doing this?